Good afternoon and welcome to the Wallace Civic Center in Fitchburg, Massachusetts on the campus of Fitchburg State University. It is Hockey Day in the Berg here on FATV. I'm John Gugerty, joined by Dan Bolak. Dan, we have three tremendous hockey games for you today here on FATV, and it is all for a wonderful cause.
Indeed. Fitchburg State going to be taking on Plymouth State shortly. Try to knock the Panthers from the ranks of the unbeaten, at least in conference play. Plymouth coming in 12-0 in the MassCap and number 13 nationally in the USCHO poll. Then at 5:30, we'll have Jake Tebow's alma mater, Milton Academy, playing host to the Dragons of St. George's School. And then at 7:30, an all-Fitchburg affair. Fitchburg Monty Tech taking on St. Bernard's in a battle between two very strong Central Mass High School hockey teams.
It's becoming a bit of an annual tradition here, Hockey Day in the Berg, benefiting the Tebow Family Rehabilitation Trust, a tremendous cause, and really one of our favorite days to broadcast here at Wallace Civic Center.
It is just going to be jam-packed, full of ice hockey. We've been looking forward to this one for quite a while, and we're going to have a lot of great hockey to bring you, all for a good cause.
Folks in Fitchburg, Leominster, that area, if you are able and willing, come on down to the Wallace Civic Center. Just $10 gets you in the door for all three games. Again, all of the proceeds going to benefit a tremendous cause, the Tebow Family Rehabilitation Trust. But for those of you who are outside the area and would rather just enjoy the first full-blown truck broadcast since Thanksgiving here on FATV, we have four beautiful cameras for you. FATV.org, Comcast Channel 9, the FATV app. So many ways to watch what promises to be a wonderful day of hockey here in Fitchburg.
At Verizon Channel 36, the FATV education stream. Yes, the apps, whether on your Apple or Android devices or on your TV, Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, all of those options. And you can hear the stick taps as Jake Tebow makes his way onto the ice.
There's the man of the hour himself, Jake Tebow, heading to center ice as we get ready to start Hockey Day in the Berg here from the Wallace Civic Center. Again, this has been becoming a bit of an annual tradition now. This is the second year we've done this, correct?
Yes, but as we know, Fitchburg State has done a lot of charity games over the years for a lot of great causes.
Absolutely. Let's send it down to center ice for the pregame festivities.
And your Fitchburg State Falcons. Today's game marks the second annual Jake Tebow game, with all proceeds from today's triple header being donated to the Tebow Family Rehabilitation Trust. Jake suffered an on-ice catastrophic injury in 2021. After a few days at Spalding rehabilitation, he realized he could either dwell on all that he lost, or he can fight. Fight with all that he had to beat this. He chose the latter. It was time to dig deep and fight. That is why we should all live by Jake's motto of no quit. My journey won't be done until I'm standing eye to eye, thanking all of you who have helped me. At this time, would you direct your attention to center ice as we welcome Jake Tebow and his brother Jake Tebow for this afternoon's ceremonial puck drop. Joining Jake for the face-off is lifelong friend Falcons number 7, Jeremy Mayette, and Panthers number 7, Miles Abbott.
Is that all right? Yeah. Inside? No. There's some brothers right there. That's it.
Now let's meet today's starting lineups. First for the visiting Panthers. On defense, a senior from Regulativa, number 23, Nick Krolis. A senior from Sylvania, Ohio, number 9, Ted Austin. At forward, a sophomore from Conception Bay South, number 37, Ethan Stuckless. A sophomore from Bible Hill, Nova Scotia, number 26, Cameron Patton. A sophomore from Stewecki, Nova Scotia, number 24, Carson Lanseleaf. And in goal, a senior from Morton, Pennsylvania, number 1, Brandon Brawley. The head coach of Plymouth State in his 13th season is Craig Russell. He's assisted by Quinn Carroll, Jay Launder, and Eric Prizaporka. And now the starting lineup for your Fitchburg State Falcons. On defense, a senior from St. Augustine, Florida, number 19, Joshua Miller. A senior from Quebec City, Quebec, number 23, Antoine Gignac. At forward, a senior from Newark, Delaware, number 10, Reese Bergerman. A senior from Simsbury, Connecticut, number 11, Anthony Ciolin. A senior from Westerville, Ohio, number 26, Hunter Fortin. In goal, a freshman from North Kingston, Rhode Island, number 29, Max Macchione. The head coach of Fitchburg State in his 39th season is Dean Fuller. The associate head coach is Tom Patty. The assistant coach are Vincent Gianbracco, Chris Kine, Mike Chartran, and Brian McGrath. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, will you please rise and stand for the playing of the national anthem?
Hockey Day in the Berg here on FATV. First of 3 games coming at you here from the Wallace Civic Center. We've got Fitchburg State University's Falcons taking on the Panthers of Plymouth State, and it promises to be a very difficult test for Fitchburg State. They come in with a record 8-7-3 overall, 6-3-3 in the MASCAC, looking to give Plymouth State their first conference loss of the season. Danny?
Indeed, for Fitchburg State, they're coming off a 3-3 tie on Thursday to the Lancers of Worcester State. Led 3-1, but couldn't quite hold on. The Lancers were hungry. Lots of shots, 54 in all in the 65 minutes of hockey. Couldn't find a winner in that one. And Fitchburg State, they're trying to bounce back. Haven't won since 2 weeks ago, after they also lost 4-0 to Westfield in the interim. Plymouth State, on the other hand, took a bit of adversity last time out. As we mentioned, 15-3-1, 12-0 in the MASCAC. But there was a point in their game 2 days ago against Salem State, the worst team in the MASCAC. They were down 4-1 early in the second period.
Just over a minute, just over a minute into the second, Plymouth trailed that game. They came back to win 8-5. We'll see how it goes today. Here's Dan Bullock with the first period.
I mean, with the way the MASCAC has played this year, you really don't know what you're going to be in for in any given game. Fitchburg State in the alternate gold uniforms, going left to right, and they get the first shot on target of the game. Ciolin from the left point, and that's gloved by the Panther keeper, Brendan Brawley.
Good save by Brawley. Dan, as a goalkeeper, I imagine it's a pretty good feeling to get that first save out of the way right away.
Yeah, you like to get one under your belt. I know myself, I get the butterflies before I get the first save. And then if you concede the first goal on the first shot, then that's just painful.
Yeah, that might go downhill quickly.
Yep, that's happened to me too many times. Anyway, Plymouth in the road black uniforms with green stripes and white numbers go right to left in the first period. So that's thrown in the direction of goal from the right side by Carson Lansleeve. Goes behind that into the left wing corner. Falcons tried to dig it out, kept in by Ryder McCollum. He takes a shot, takes a hop on the ice, but Max Macchione able to watch it, track it, get in front of it, and glove it for a draw.
Macchione also able to get his first save under his belt less than a minute into this contest. Once again, folks, and we will give you plenty of reminders throughout the day, all of the festivities here at the Civic Center to benefit the Tebow Family Rehabilitation Trust. Go to fatv.org/TBO14 if you want to make a donation.
Yep, that'll take you right to the GoFundMe page. And you could also look it up yourself on that, but that's, I think, a little quicker. There's a shot that's cut down traffic. Second chance, that slips through, that's it! 68 seconds into the game, and the Falcons have the first strike! Gene Bouthiette leads the handshake line as it got caught in all the traffic, jamming away at it, and it slips past Brawley somehow.
I think he just got a hand on it and then never fully secured the save, Dan. He made the initial save and then he just let go of the puck too soon. It trickles in behind him, gets over the line before anyone realizes what's happening.
That's a tremendous sign for the Falcons. A good start for them. When they have the first goal, they're 4-2-1. Although the Panthers 8-1-1 when they concede first. Actually slightly better than when they scored the first goal. When they do, they're 7-2.
They're 15-3-1 on the season. They're good in a lot of situations. It's hard to find a situation where Plymouth State has a losing record other than when the other team scores more goals than them. If the other team concedes more goals, scores more goals, they're going to win. That's my analysis.
Works out well enough. Bouthiette.
Fitchburg State goal scored by number 21, Gene Bouthiette. Assisted by number 2, Nola Sargent.
Bouthiette with the goal, Sargent with the lone assist for the Falcons. A minute 8 into the contest, Fitchburg State has the first goal, but this Plymouth State team, one of the most explosive offenses in the nation, averaging 4.68 goals per game.
Yeah, they scored 8 in their last contest. Something tells me 1 is not going to be enough for Fitchburg State today.
A 1-0 game would be quite the challenging feat. This Plymouth State team, perfect through 2 cycles of conference play. But Fitchburg has played them tough in both games. These teams were tied in the middle of the third period, basically. And it was only a late goal in the first meeting all the way back on November the 3rd that got Plymouth State a victory. Also 5 power play goals. And cutting right to the goal, great moves by Jeremy Millette, and Brawley able to stone him with the left pad. Strong work there by the Leominster native, the 4th liner, dragging through the Panther defense and able to get all the way to Brawley.
Speaking of dragging, Dan, I think they're going to drag Corey Tumanis into the penalty box because he dragged a Panther down to the ice, who was basically just on top of the man with the puck. And you can't do that. You need to have a little more finesse if you're just going to tackle someone on the ice. Tumanis will serve 2 minutes.
Plymouth had 7 power plays back on November the 3rd, the last time they were in this building, and they scored on 5 of them. That's a tremendous efficiency. And they've got the best power play in the conference as well.
2 minutes for holding.
Holding is the call as it goes into the right corner. Now behind the net. Panthers trying to dig it out. It goes to Miles Abbott. Now to the right point, holding. And now back to the right point again. That's Shaley. To the column now to Shaley with a shot. High riser. Just misses the mark. Trying to dig forward on the left side half boards. 3-4 players there. Ethan Stuckless getting in the way. And now cleared out to Bergman, who will just tap it out of the zone. Panthers will retrieve at center ice from Carson Lansleeve. He gets into the zone. Moves it along for Shaley on the right side. Around the boards, right wing corner for Abbott. Now back for Shaley. Shaley holds, takes the shot, that goes off the mark. 60 seconds gone on the power play. 16:26 to go in the first period, 1-0 to the Falcons. Right wing corner, throws it across the paint, now around the boards to the left point of the column. Shaley tries to go to the left wing circle, that's intercepted by a Falcon. And I believe that's Michael Macchione who clears it down the length of the ice.
Sure, his brother Max is thankful for the breather at the moment.
3 saves for both goaltenders thus far. 4 minutes gone and a 1-0 lead for Fitchburg State. Rollis carrying it up ice, now passed along. Macchione Max will knock it down behind the net. Pinned in the right side boards by Cookson. Now comes around behind the net. Trent Skaggs will clear it. And down the ice that will go. Time running down on the power, as you can see Oliver Cookson providing a bit of pressure there. Panthers moving it up ice. On the right side, a shot goes wide. Picked up on the left side by Prolis. Into the left wing corner, Ted Austin trying to protect the puck. Get it back to the left point. 2 minutes is out of the box and the Falcons are back to full strength. On the right side, Connor Tate. Behind the net. And the Falcons will take and push it out of the zone. Prolis trying to protect. Cookson with the pressure. Cookson signals he'd like to come off. And so he'll swap off as the Panthers will get it back in the Falcon zone, but just for a brief moment, right back out it goes. And Plymouth has to tag up. 5 minutes gone in the first. The Falcons lead 1-0 on G. Bouthiette's second goal of the season. Falcons holding it back in their own end. Panthers changing up the lines a little bit. Falcons rainbow that down the ice. And that's going to make its way to the front of the net and whistles. There is a player down behind the play. Someone took a high shot. And that was a Falcon who is down back in the green and gold zone. Did not get a good look at it. That was a hit that was well behind the play. And Kyler Harding will go to the box for the 6th time this season. As our referees from Atlantic Hockey will discuss this. Rebecca Shersnow out on the ice, tending to the downed Falcon.
Hear the officials discussing it right in front of the public address announcer. The injured player is up a little bit. We're going to take another look at this hit.
And that's a high shot up to the head of Trenton Skaggs. That was Kyler Harding with the big hit there. They've already put 5 on the board, and I think they're discussing if he's going to take any further part in this contest. See Ted Austin for Plymouth and Hunter Forden for Fitchburg.
And that hit, Dan, actually happened a good ways away from where Skaggs ultimately went down. He tried to skate back to the bench, just couldn't make it. Fortunately, as you can see, he's up on his knees now, and he'll be helped off the ice.
We'll have another look at it. Well, that was the tail end of it, actually, but it's 5 minutes on the board. Harding is going to remain in the penalty box, so he will continue on in this game, but he has to sit for the full 5 minutes on the major. So the Falcons already with 1 goal, and we'll be looking for more.
5-minute major for elbow.
They just announced it's a major. Don't tell us what exactly it was, but you can draw your own inferences from the replay that you saw. As there's a snapper there by Forden that rises too high into the right wing corner. Josh Miller will go back to Forden, captain to captain. Top of the left circle. Now from the bad angle, Bergman gets shoved down from behind. And the Panthers will clear it. The Panthers have been penalized quite a bit this season. That may be their one shortcoming. 17 penalty minutes a game. And starting with the major is not going to help matters.
And on the other side, Dan, for Fitchburg, we've talked about injuries and illnesses just wreaking havoc with this Falcon team, particularly on defense. Losing the freshman defenseman in Skaggs can only hurt them.
They are back to full strength, at least in terms of roster numbers. They've gone through the illness, and they do have a full 19 skaters out there today. The extra skater, Brendan Walk, is a forward, though. As it comes to the left point, Seolin across. Wilmshurst gets a backhand towards goal, and it's patted aside by Brawley. On the left side, Forden continuing to hold. See the pressure there from Plymouth. They've got a strong penalty kill. 84% on the season. They've also been on the kill 113 times, which is quite a lot for this point of the season. In comparison, the Falcons have only been on the kill 73 times. The Falcons have only played one fewer game. 3:20 to go on the major. 12:53 to go in the first period. Falcons lead 1-0 on Bouthiette's second.
Is it possible that in that one extra game, Plymouth just committed 40 penalties? Is that a thing?
Be some sort of record.
Yeah.
I mean,
honestly, I feel like if a team commits 40 penalties in a single game, that entire team should not be allowed to play hockey for a while. The league should have a sit down with them and say, hey guys, what was going on with that one?
I mean, 40 penalties would be crazy, but 40 power plays would just sound impossible to me. Anyway, on the icing, faceoff will come to the right side of Macchione. Falcons will win that draw. And skating it up on the near side, Antoine Gignac had 2 goals just 2 days ago against Worcester State. Gignac will take it at the point, down to the top of the left circle. Shot stopped by Brawley, and the official lost sight of the puck. Thought Brawley had that one gobbled up immediately. He very clearly did not.
Heard a very loud groan from the Fitchburg supporters. That puck bounced out pretty much immediately.
I feel like Plymouth might have cleared it pretty much immediately at that point, so this actually benefits Fitchburg, I think. Because now they don't have to reset. They will have the draw to the right of Brawley. Just looked like Plymouth got to that first. So I think it might work out, but anyway, the Falcons 2:40 to work with on the major. They lead 1-0. Behind the net, Toivo Kramer trying to pin Alancer to the boards, but he's able to take it and throw it down the ice. Max Macchione out from behind his own net. Will settle. Josh Miller will lead the reset. On the near side, here's Ciolin coming up with a burst of speed. Passes it off on the left side. First back to Miller. He gets a shot off, that's wide. Bergman trying to bank it off of Brawley from that tough angle. Didn't quite hit the mark there, but it comes out to the point of Miller. Now on the left side, Forden. Into the corner. Trying to jam it through, hits the side of the net. That was Ciolin with the chance. Wyatt Wilmshurst. Move it along for Bergman. Now Miller. Wilmshurst. Shot through traffic, save. Puck is loose. They battle for it, and it comes underneath Brawley. He's able to reach out with his glove and cover it.
Brawley's had a lot of trouble dealing with these rebounds today, Dan. It already cost him 1 goal. Very nearly cost him another there. He made the initial save, but as we see here on the replay, puck bounces out. Brawley's on his backside just trying to cover. He finally reaches out and is able to bury the puck under his glove.
5 saves for the senior from Morton, Pennsylvania. He's taken the starting job. Kelly Anderson has not been available this year. He was the starter last year for the Panthers. Eighteenth start for Brawley, 14-2-1, 251 goals against, 922 save percentage and 2 shutouts, but he won't be adding to that last tally today. Falcons bring it up with Forden, 80 seconds to work with on the power play. Let's try to get it back to Forden. Ciolin there in that left corner. Forden on to Wilmshurst. Now Josh Miller. Miller holding. Goes captain to captain again. Shot with traffic in front there. Not quite able to get through. You can see the pressure. Under 60 seconds to go on the major to Harding. Now it's Miller holding. Left side. Shot is wide. Rides up the boards. A little kept in by Josh Miller. Ciolin tries to get it across. Cut down in the slot. Flipped out of his own.
Falcons have taken their time on this major power play, looking for the perfect opportunity. Credit to Plymouth, it hasn't been there for him.
You see Miles Abbott there with some strong play, the senior from Norwell. One of the 3 captains on this Panther roster, 22 points on the campaign. Plymouth has quite the loaded roster that's dumped in. 20 to go on the power. They'll try to clear it from Tracy. And down it'll go into the neutral zone. Gignac will retrieve, but only 13 to go on the major. Off Cooks it with a shot shoulder save by Brawley. Now Michael Macchione on the left side, thinking about maybe the wraparound. Can't find the good path there. And Colin Tracy with strong pressure won't let him have that. Harding is out of the box and the Panthers are back to full strength. There's a shot through traffic, loose in front. Second chance is blocked off the leg of a Panther defender in front. And Plymouth able to get it out of the zone. Sees a number of shots and chances on that major power play, but nothing finding the back of the net. 9:17 to go, first period. We're back to full strength. The Falcons lead by a 0-0.
Wasn't always pretty for Brawley, but he made the saves he had to.
Indeed, as Jovan Zimmerman knock it along for Lance Levin. Now Tracy dumps it into the zone. Macchione dumps it back there, and he's tripped up. There's no penalty there, as he just lost his footing. As he was stumbling backwards, walk.
I mean, Carson Lansley skated right into him, but okay.
Now 4 or 5 players trying to dig it out in favor of the Golds. And they just barely pushed it to the blue line, but just barely kept in by Plymouth. A chance to clear it out of the zone. This time it did come out, says our linesman. And they'll blow the whistle for offside. 8:30 to go in the first. 1-0 Fitchburg.
Stuckless was not happy with that whistle. He thought he had kept it in the zone, but he had, in fact, not.
Haven't gotten a chance to go over Max Macchione's numbers, the freshman from North Kingstown, Rhode Island. His 13th start, 5-3-3 record, 253 goals against, 929 save percentage. In terms of goals against, these are the 2 best goalies in the conference. In terms of save percentage, second and third, Valtteri Valtonen of Westfield has a higher save percentage at 932. Also had, I think a 43 save shutout against Fitchburg State last week.
That sounds about right. He also has just a tremendous name, honestly.
And he was the opposing goaltender in last year's Hockey Day in the Berg game for Westfield State. I mean, we see some old faces, we'll see some familiar faces later on. As from the right point, that shot is offline. Plymouth just trying to get themselves set for some shooting lanes. We're really having a little bit of challenge with that. Fitchburg able to pull it out. Here's Forden on the right side. Numbers not favoring the Falcons. Forden trying to move it along. But Ryder McCallum with some strong play there. Some good stick work. Miles Abbott will dump it in. Falcons try to hit the stretch basket. Wilmshurst at the red line. Now taken down here by Ben Chipman, one of 2 graduate students on the Panthers roster, along with Colin Stevens. Both of them defensemen as well. Panthers dump it in. Falcons will go retrieve from Gignac. He's a graduate student as well. We have a delayed penalty against Plymouth, as there was a bit of a wrestling match there near the Falcon bench.
Like it was Josh Miller and Ted Austin getting in with one another. Might have been Rancourt, actually, for the Panthers.
Looks like they're going to call the penalty against Fitchburg. I thought that penalty was going to be going against Plymouth because Fitchburg had the possession of the puck, from what I saw, with the arm raised, but okay. And considering that the Panther was the one down on the ice, that I think makes more sense. The one on top is the one who's getting called there.
It seems reasonable.
Because the one on the bottom of the ice, sitting on his wallet.
Miller, 2 minutes for roughing.
Roughing is the call. The one sitting on the ice doesn't want to be there. The one on top wants to keep him there. Feels like that's a different sport, though. Falcons will clear it. 25 seconds gone on the man advantage. Plymouth's power play explosive this year. 29%, top 5 in the nation, and top of the conference by a good margin. The Falcons are second, for instance, and they're at 22.5%. The right point, a shot that is blocked and cleared while on his rear end. Oliver Cookson. That was some good play there.
One of the more painful plays Cookson will make, but it was definitely a well-executed one. He just slid right in, got his body in front of the puck. Macchione didn't have to break a sweat.
I love how he was able to pitchfork that away. Archambault with a shorthanded chance, shouldered away by Brawley. Falcons nearly had a second chance there from Michael Macchione. Just wasn't able to get a clean shot away. Panthers with only 3 shots on target in this contest. Good chance there for Lansley, just whiffed on the shot.
That was a very good chance. Lansley had a wide open net if he could only hit the shot.
5:35 to go And there's a shot. First one in a while. Macchione makes the save. Puck came loose, and the Panthers spotted it, but the whistle had well and truly blown.
The whistle blew after the puck came out, Dan. Plymouth State feels aggrieved. Don't entirely think they're wrong to feel that way.
Well, we saw a quick whistle on one end of the ice earlier in this contest. And it looked like a pretty quick whistle there as well. One always has to note the intent to blow by the officials. You see, it seems like it's gobble up there. I didn't immediately see the puck there. I guess it was right in front of his right pad.
It was right next to his pad, yeah.
Yep. You see with the dark green pads, I didn't see it immediately, and the official who blew the whistle has the off angle. He doesn't see the puck, and that's player safety blowing the whistle there when they lose sight of it. 5:10 to go in the frame, 1-0 Falcons, 10 seconds to go on the power play. Panthers regain the zone. Krolis thrown around the boards. You hear Brawley tapping the stick to warn that Miller's coming out of the box now. And out he is. And the Falcons coming up ice. Here's Skaggs. His shot is blocked. Krolis got in the way of that. Now quick transition near side. Here's Will Reddick.
Not going to lie, Dan, I'm frankly shocked to see Trenton Skaggs back on the ice at all, let alone so soon after that massive hit he took.
Well, it's good to see he's all right. So the Falcons need not worry about being short on defensemen today. Shots 10-4 in favor of Fitchburg. Plymouth has really struggled to get shots on target. They've been able to get some zone pressure, but just putting shots towards goal has been challenging. Dante Moretti gets one there, and it's punched aside by Macchione. Here's Ciolin behind the net. Around to the far side. That comes out of the zone. Couldn't be kept in at the right point by Brett Lockhart. And all the way down the ice it'll go. 4 minutes to go in the first frame. Falcons lead by a goal to nil. Holmquist tangling up there with Forden. Hunter Forden regaining the zone. Forden puts the shot on. Brawley makes the stop and lets that puck fall into his glove, and he'll hold for a draw there.
Dan, you mentioned earlier on some familiar faces will be on display during the course of this hockey day in the Berg, but a new face will be joining us as well. We want to let you folks know at home that Zach Shaw, the newly appointed head coach of the Fitchburg State football team, will be joining us on air in the early part of the second period, so stick around for that.
Well, we got to meet Coach Shaw before the game.
Seems like a nice guy.
Yeah. I'm already looking forward to football season. We're only about 7-ish months away.
That sounds right.
Puck tied up in the left wing corner in the Panthers' end. Falcons able to dig it free. Get a shot off, but it's blocked. Now back to Miller. Through a lot of traffic, got all the way, and now that one squirts through the paint. Brawley made the initial save, and that second chance just missed the net by not very much. Now the Panthers coming back up ice on the right side, trying to keep his feet. Is Peyton Shaley into the left wing corner. Finally, he loses possession there. The Falcons will flip it out of the zone to neutral ice.
Had to be agony for Toivo Kramer just a few moments ago, Dan. He was splayed out on the ice. No way he could get his stick to the puck. He just had to watch it skitter in front of him. If he had been able to blow on it, it might have gone in the net.
Icing will be called against the Falcons with 2:50 to go in the first. I am actually a bit surprised how strong Fitchburg has looked in terms of creating chances in this game.
They have definitely been the aggressors. It's another look at that shot from the point and another juicy rebound. And you see right there, Kramer just can't get his stick to the puck in time. He almost looked like he was leaning down and blowing on the puck, trying to get it in the net. I imagine it wouldn't have been legal for him to headbutt it into the net.
It definitely would not have been.
Okay.
Nor could he have punched it in.
Okay. That makes sense. I understand that.
It's like, you look at that, it's like so agonizingly close, like being stranded in the ocean with no water to drink. Falcons will clear it out of the zone. McCollum knock it along for Lance Lee. On the right side, Skaggs will knock it back. 2 minutes, trying to protect. Now back to Skaggs. 2:20 to go in the first period. Falcons lead 1-0. The lone goal coming 68 seconds in the frame from G. The lone assist coming for Nolan Sargent, his second assist of the season. Gene Bouthiette's second goal of the season. Nick Scrolis on the right side for Austin. Goes D-line to D-line, and the Falcons put it right back in the neutral zone. Now to the left side, Abbott, he gets a shot off, gloved by Macchione. Relatively trivial save for the freshman keeper. They'll hold for a draw with 112 ticks of the clock going in the first.
That's something we haven't been able to say very often, Dan. A relatively trivial save, just an easy scoop and actually hold on to the puck. Both goalkeepers have had a lot of trouble just controlling those shots.
Draw comes to the right of Max Macchione. And won by the Panthers. They get a shot off, but it's wide of the target. I mean, they don't track the missed shots, but I do wonder how many missed shots Plymouth has. Just feels like they've taken a lot of great chances that just can't really get anywhere near the 6x4. Now another shot that deflects off its gate and wide. Into the left wing corner. Under 90 to go in the frame. Ciolin brings it out for Bergman. He gets the shot off. That's sticked away by Brawley. Over the left wing corner. Pass out, cut down by Lil Reddick. And on the far side, Plymouth trying to skate it up the ice. Here's Reddick. Long for Austin, back for Reddick. He gets the shot off, stopped by Macchione. Puck pinballing around in front of him, and it makes its way to the left side boards. Now holding at the point is Chipman. He gets a shot off. There's a lot of bodies in the way, and it doesn't find its way through the labyrinth.
Bergman's blocked 2 shots in the last 90 seconds.
The senior forward for Newark, Delaware, playing strong on the defensive forward role. In that particular case, the Falcons dump it down ice. Get some fresh bodies out there. And Plymouth ready to break out under 30 to go in the frame. Tracy will move it along. Gignac in pursuit, getting there first is Matt Paglio. Now around to the left side, Tracy holds, gets the shot off, and it's snared by Macchione.
Matt Tartaglio was crashing down from the left side of Macchione. He was ready to pounce on any rebound, but that time there was none to be found.
17.5 to go in the frame, 1-0 Falcons. The draw comes again to the right of Macchione. Plymouth wins that draw. They're very good at winning faceoffs. Would not be surprised if they finish this game above 60% with faceoff winning percentage. On the near side, McCallum trying to go point to point. Into the right side boards. Falcons will clear it, and the buzzer will sound to bring it into this first period. Falcons came out strong, got the opening strike just 68 seconds in from Gene Bouthiette. That's all the scoring we had. 20 shots in the frame, 13 for the green and gold. And through one period of play, it's Fitchburg State 1 and Plymouth State 0.
And I gotta say, Dan, if you told me coming in that one of these teams was hovering around 500, had an okay but not spectacular record in the conference, and the other was literally 12-0 in the MASCAC, I would be wrong. I would say that Fitchburg State looked like the better side through the first 20 minutes of action.
I mean, yeah. And as we mentioned just 2 days ago, Plymouth was, I think, a bit on tilt. I mean, they were down 3-1 through one period against Salem State. It was down 4-1. They conceded not too long into the second period, but at that point, Plymouth changed gears and found a whole new level, cranked it up 12 notches, and were able to dominate Salem the rest of the way. But yeah, this is the second straight game for the Panthers that they've come out really slow. If there's one thing, though, in terms of all the superlatives, strangely enough, the Panthers are undefeated when trailing after 20. They're 5-0.
Again, it's hard to find a stat where Plymouth doesn't have a good record. They're capable of playing from behind. They're capable of playing from ahead.
And they may not have a singular game breaker, but you look at the stats on this team, 5 different players have 20 or more points for Plymouth State. Connor Tate's got 20 points, Miles Abbott has 22, Ryder McCallum is 21, Carson Lansley is 25, Ethan Stuckless has 23. Those are all players who can step up and score practically at will. In terms of how this Panther team goes, maybe they don't have a singular game breaker, like Falcon fans might remember Joe Caveney from back in the day, but Plymouth, or Sasha Figge from more recently, but Plymouth State has a bunch of guys who can do damage, and we're probably going to be hearing more of those names as this game goes on.
It's going to be a very interesting contest. Interesting to see if the Falcons can maintain their 1-goal lead or if Plymouth State can come back. But remember, folks, this is just the first game of 3 here at the Wallace Civic Center. So if you're in the Fitchburg area and you feel like coming down, enjoying some hockey for a tremendous cause, just $10 gets you in the door. You get the last 2 periods of this game. You get the game at 3:30 with Jake Tebow's alma mater playing. You get the game at 5:30. I got the times wrong. You get the game at 5:30 with Jake Tebow's alma mater, and you get the game at 7:30 with Fitchburg Lonnie Tech against St. Bernard's. I saved it. And of course, fatv.org/TBO14 will take you directly to the GoFundMe page for the Tebow Family Rehabilitation Trust. All of the proceeds from today's Hockey Day in the Berg here at the Civic Center going to that great cause. It's a tremendous day for hockey. We have plenty more to come. We will also, once again, be interviewing Zach Shaw, the new head coach of the Fitchburg State University football team. All of that to come in the second period. But for now, Dan and I will take the intermission break, and we will be back. It's Hockey Day in the Berg on FATV. Back at the Wallace Civic Center, it is Hockey Day in the Berg here on FATV. I'm John Dugerty, joined as always by Dan Bullock. Fitchburg State leads Plymouth State 1-0 as we get ready to begin the second period of action. But before we do, we want to take a look at some of the highlights from the first period. Of course, all of the games today to benefit the Tebow Family Rehabilitation Trust. There's Jake Tebow dropping the ceremonial first puck. Fitchburg's goal came just 68 seconds into the game off the stick of Gene Bouffiette. And then, Dan, the story of the first period was really missed opportunities for both sides.
You can see Millette coming in there with a great chance on Brawley. Panthers moving it along, but Max Macchione able to turn that aside.
See players big hit on Skaggs.
Players getting tangled up there. It's a Toivo Kramer out on the goal mouth, trying to get a shot on. Colin Tracy with the chance, but that was trapped by Macchione.
One of Macchione's more impressive saves of the first period as well.
He was only asked to make 7 saves in that first period of action. In comparison, Chris Matone made 38 saves in the meeting back on November the 3rd, and Max Macchione ended up with 37 saves last time out on January the 5th. So the numbers are a little low for Plymouth. They definitely have been spinning their wheels a little bit.
Plymouth State comes in 12-0 in the conference. But honestly, Dan, Fitchburg has looked like the better side for this entire first period.
There is no question about that. And we were talking about just a couple days ago, Plymouth was playing Salem State, who is on the other side in regards of performance. Bottom of the conference coming into today, 3-15, and yet it was Salem who took it to Plymouth in the first period. The Vikings were up 3-1. They were then quickly up 4-1, and then Plymouth was able to bounce back, win that game 8-5. But it was not at all indicative of what you thought you would expect out of those two teams. And Plymouth State, they've just been so strong this year with a lot of offensive firepower. This doesn't feel like the type of game that is going to end 1-0. That's going to be the challenge there. But Plymouth can win games in close margins. Back on January 12th, they beat UMass Dartmouth 2-1.
We mentioned earlier they had a very close victory against this Fitchburg State side.
5-4 back on November the 3rd. It wasn't until Jeremy Rancourt scored with 2:04 remaining, really, that game could have been, conceivably settled.
So Plymouth State is by no means out of this, trailing just 1-0 after one period of play. We've already mentioned they're actually undefeated, trailing after the first period. So they are no strangers to this position, but obviously they'd rather be winning. I don't think that's a controversial statement, that they'd rather be winning the game, Dan.
Yep. 8-0, excuse me. 8-0 when Plymouth leads after 20 minutes. 5-0 when they trail after 20 minutes. Their 3 losses in a tie came when they were level after 20. Very strange superlative.
Hockey is a strange game, Daniel. I don't know if you knew that.
They can be. The teams take to the ice getting ready for the second period of Hockey Day in the Berg. And this is just one of 3 games, too.
Absolutely. We've got 2 more fantastic games coming up. Again, at 5:30, we will see Jake Tebow's alma mater squaring off. We will also see at 7:30 the all-Fitchburg matchup. You see right there the Milton Academy at 5:30, and then at 7:30, Fitchburg Monty Tech taking on St. Bernard's. All of it here from the Wallace Civic Center, benefiting again the Tebow Family Rehabilitation Trust. And if you would like to donate, you can go to fatv.org/TBO14. We are just about ready for the second period of hockey here. Fitchburg's in the gold, going right to left. They win the draw. Controlled back to Antoine Gignac. He'll send it to his defense partner, Joshua Miller. Miller dumps it in. Loses the handle, chased by Bergman, but it's gathered on the other end by Nix Krolis. Krolis sends it out. Lanceleaf gave chase, but Fitchburg dumps it right back in. Bergman pursues. He sends it back behind the net, where Plymouth State will take it out. Cameron Patton banged into the board, sends the puck in on net, where it is covered by Max Macchione, and that gives us a chance to welcome our guest, Zach Shaw, the new football coach of Fitchburg State University. Coach Shaw, welcome to FATV.
Thanks for having me. I'm really excited to be here. Good to talk to you guys, and excited to be here for a great day of hockey.
Obviously, you mentioned, we talked a little bit before the game. You've only really been here in a couple weeks since you've been announced. That sound about right?
Yeah, so a little over 2 weeks since I've been here. My first official day, still less than 2 weeks, but yeah, you know, fresh out of the car, getting ready to go.
Fitchburg pursues down, shots goes wide. So Coach Shaw, obviously here in Fitchburg, Dan and I have had the opportunity to call Falcon football for a number of years, and it's been some pretty lean times, you could say, with the pandemic and then a winless season and then a one-win season. Really, what was it for you that made the Falcon job so attractive? What made you come to Fitchburg State?
Yeah, so it's a couple, a few different reasons. First and foremost, I think Fitchburg State football is a sleeping giant. Just you step on campus and you see the facilities we have and the people around the program who really want it to be successful. All the resources there to compete not only in the MASCAC but in the entire New England area. And then once I actually came to campus and I was meeting the people, the athletic director Matt Burke and even Dr. Bayless, VP in charge of student affairs. Fitchburg is ready for a win, and they want this program to turn around, and it's there for the taking.
You mentioned the facilities here at Fitchburg State. I'm curious, what's your feeling? What's your impression of Elliott Field? What do you feel about the home of the Falcons?
I love it. I think it is the perfect Division III style stadium where it sits behind the trees. It's enclosed. Once the game's going on, it doesn't really feel like there's anything else there except for the football field. And then obviously, where the way the stadium's built, you walk up the hill a little bit to the top of the bleachers. Locker rooms right there, has the perfect environment for a tailgate for the fans to be involved. It's a special place to play.
It does kind of feel like its own destination almost,
yes.
Especially like if you park here at the Civic Center and you walk through the woods up the hill. I used to do that when I was coming as a volunteer just for FATV. That's a pretty special feeling. It feels like you're going to an event.
Right. It's not just, hey, go to the local park, play some football. It's you go to Elliott Field to watch Fitchburg State Falcons play football, and you walk through the woods, or you walk up the hill into the stands. It's an awesome place to be.
And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention right behind us, the Landry Arena is a tremendous facility for players to train.
Absolutely. I mean, that weight room is as good as any I've ever seen. I mean, it doesn't even matter the division. I mean, we've got everything you could possibly need to lift weights and get strong enough to be able to compete in the college level. And then, of course, it's all about people, right? We're in a people business. Coach Jankerson in there, our full-time strength coach, he's getting after it, and he's really pushing our guys to be the best versions of themselves every single day.
You mentioned it's all about people, and it's people behind the scenes, but ultimately it's about people on the field, and that's kind of been a problem for Fitchburg State over the past couple of years, just the sheer size of the roster. Obviously, you've just been here a couple of weeks. We don't expect you to turn around and have 80 new guys, but what kind of things are you doing to increase, not only recruiting, but maybe participation from students who are already on campus?
Yeah, so I think first and foremost, the guys that are currently on the roster, the guys who have stuck it out, who want to see this place be successful, they're bought in. They want to see the change. They want to be on a successful football program that can compete day in and day out. So we've got the nucleus, we've got the foundation. So
I like that answer. You want to make sure that the guys on the team know you're not looking to replace them. You want to make them happy with you too.
Every single year, every single team's different, but the program is what succeeds and continues year to year. So it's up to them to build who we want to be as a program. So we had recruits on campus today, and we had 9 different of our current players who were involved in that process. Because at the end of the day, yeah, you want good football players. The talent is going to help us win. But what's more important than that is the people, the quality of people that we bring in that can help the program build. Because if it was just about talent, the U down in Florida would have won a million national championships by now. But it's not just about the talent, it's about the people, the culture, how we all can come together as one.
Got a penalty on the ice here.
Ethan Stuckless goes to the box with 21 seconds remaining on the original penalty there to Bouthiette, the trip there. So it's going to be 4-on-4 and then an abbreviated power play for Fitchburg State.
Now, Coach, I'm going to put you on the spot here, and folks at home,
okay.
we didn't prep for this, so you're totally within your rights not to answer. You mentioned we had 9 players on the team who were kind of showing some new guys around trying to recruit. Give us some names. Who are the guys who have stepped up to emerge kind of as the locker room leaders when it comes to recruiting new guys or just building morale for the players who have already been there?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you one is Emsley. We call him Bacon. All right, he was actually mentioned specifically by one of our recruits on campus about how welcoming he was, about how well he treated the recruits, and how they just really made them feel like, I want to be a part of this. So, I mean, to have a recruit say that to me when we have a one-on-one meeting, to bring up that specific name, I have to mention him. But we have, you know, Matt Ayure, Luke Noyes, Frank Sims. We had Mosley was there today. We had Gomez was there today. Let me see, who else? I think that was, of course, I'm sure I'm forgetting one, and then they're going to hear this and be mad at me.
The one guy you don't name is going to come to you and be like, Coach, I was there too.
Jordan Cummings was there as well. He actually helped when we went over to Landry to show off the strength and conditioning facilities. He kind of led that part of it too, talking about that. But, I mean, really, it was just, they were the first ones to sign up. I had to cut the sign up short because, like, well, we only have, you know, right now we have more current players than we have recruits on campus. I don't want to overwhelm them, so
yeah, you don't want like 4 recruits to come in and be like, here's 20 guys on the team to tell you to come play here. That's a little overwhelming.
Right. So we actually had to cut. You know, when I asked for volunteers, in about probably less than 5 minutes, we had those 9 guys immediately sign up, and kind of had to cut it short. Say, okay, that's enough. You know, we'll pick it up next time. You know, we get some guys on campus. So, but it was awesome to see. I mean, that shows their commitment to the program, not just themselves or this year's team, but the program, the long-term success.
And I know some of those players you mentioned are guys who've already stepped up in leadership positions. Doesn't surprise me that they would reach out to try to make this program more successful.
Exactly. Yeah, they want to see it change, and you know, it's up to them ultimately to get the change happening. But as a coaching staff, we have to direct them. Right? We're just captaining the ship almost and just going in the right direction.
Now, you mentioned the success of the program, and one thing that we've seen following the program with Fitchburg State, especially over the past couple of seasons, is it seems like every year there's a new offensive scheme. There's a new mindset. We're going to go this. We're going to go with the flex bone. The flex bone didn't work. We're going to go more spread. What's your mindset coming in as a coach? I mean, obviously, you have to scheme with the players you have, but ideally, pie in the sky, what kind of offense do you see Fitchburg State running with? Yeah,
so I think first and foremost, you know, I'm an offensive coach. You know, before becoming a head coach, I was always an offensive coordinator, quarterbacks coach, you know. So I'm always offensive minded. And, you know, I think the first thing is to understand is you just got to score points. That's it. I think as offensive coaches, we get so cute about the 100 different ways I can draw this play and that play, and it really doesn't matter. You got to get the football across the end line with possession, and that's what we're gonna first and foremost you know, pride ourselves in doing.
Now, is that saying you're going to really simplify, or is that more saying you're going to find out what works and then do that?
A little bit of both. So I love simplicity. I am a, you know, anyone who, if you look up my history, this isn't saying anything, giving anything away, but, you know, I'm an air raid RPO kind of guy. Simplicity is in my nature. I want to run the same things over and over again and be so good at it. It doesn't matter that you know what's coming. We're going to be great at what we do. I think a lot of times too often offensive coaches get so worried about trying to anticipate and predict what a defensive-minded coach is thinking that they forget about, well, let's just be good at what we do. Let's figure out who we are and be great at it. And so that's going to be our number one priority. So we come out in spring, we're going to, okay, you know, this is a football. This is how we line up. This is how we communicate with each other. And then we'll worry about, okay, well, what happens when the defense does this or that or this? It's first and foremost, every place I've been, worry about us, and then everything else kind of will take care of itself.
You've got to make sure you're good at what you do before you worry about, okay, what if they stop it? If they stop it, you can adjust, right?
100%, 100%. Now, there's some caveats to that in terms of what I like to do. You know, I like to play really, really fast. I'm an attacking, aggressive mentality, so I want our guys to have fun flying around playing football. And so the #1 way to be able to play fast is to know what you're doing. And so if I, as a coach, can make it as simple as possible so our guys can just don't have to think about it, that's my job.
And we'd be remiss, obviously, if we didn't give you a chance to talk a little bit about your background. You know, where have you coming from? For folks who have never heard the name Zach Shaw before, where have you been before that led you to Fitchburg State?
Yeah, so originally, you know, how far back, right? But originally,
how far back do you want to go? What was your third grade teacher like?
Yeah, right.
I like mine. Mrs. Names was great.
There you go. Yeah, I think mine was Mrs. Donnelly was her name actually in third grade. Yeah,
good name.
But no, originally from suburbs of Chicago. For those of you who know Chicago, I'm not actually growing up in Chicago, about an hour north. Went to college in Wisconsin, was fortunate enough from there I played for 5 seasons overseas in Europe, bounced around overseas a little bit, did some coaching there. In between my seasons overseas, had the opportunity to coach part-time a little bit at the collegiate level. And then, you know, a name that will sound familiar is I spent 2 years at Nichols College here in Massachusetts, where I was the offensive coordinator. You know, had some success there. We were able to set some school records for scoring and offensive production and things like that. From there, went to Hiram, was there for 2 years. And then most recently, I was at Elmhurst University back in Chicago, competing in the CCIW. So for those of you who know North Central, the name North Central, Wheaton, those schools. So competing there, and then found my way here back to Massachusetts. Couldn't stay away, and proud to be a Falcon now.
North Central and Wheaton, I can tell you, they are powerhouses, I should say. The Wheaton in Illinois, not the Wheaton in Massachusetts, which doesn't have a football team.
Yes. Yeah, they're pretty good at football. I'll say that, having coached against them.
Again, we're speaking with Zach Shaw, the new football coach of Fitchburg State University. It's Hockey Day in the Berg here on FATV. Looks like we're going to have a delayed penalty coming up against the...
Nope, that was delayed offside.
Delayed offside. All right. I saw a man with his hand up and I got excited.
We just cycled through a few different penalties and power plays, but as you can see, no success thus far. Shots in this period are 6-4 in favor of Fitchburg State, by the way.
So, Coach Shaw, we've talked a little bit about your offensive mentality, but obviously there are other sides of the football besides trying to move it. What do you approach from the defensive side? You mentioned you're an offensive coach. You kind of leaning on your staff there, or I imagine you're going to have an active hand on the defense as well?
Yeah, I think it's really important, even as whether you're an offensive head coach, defensive head coach. My #1 responsibility is to the whole program and the whole team. So, you know, I'm going to have an active hand and have an active role on both sides of the football, special teams especially. But, you know, we're fortunate enough to have Coach Mark Sullivan, who was the interim head coach this past season. He's going to stick around, and he's going to be our defensive coordinator. Coach Sullivan and I actually worked together at Nichols for a season, so him and I are very familiar with each other. We do see defensive football very, very similarly. You know, a couple of core tenets I really just firmly believe in defensive football is 11 guys to the ball, have high effort. You know, having gone to school in Wisconsin, I watched TCU, a very small defense, beat the Badgers of Wisconsin in the Rose Bowl with a middle linebacker who weighed 220 pounds with a Badgers offensive line that averaged like 315, right? And the whole philosophy was we're going to run 11 guys to the ball, we're going to hit everything that moves, and we're going to be a high effort, high tenacity defense. And that's where it all starts. Because you can run any scheme you want, 3 down, 4 down, whatever tickles your fancy, right? But if you can have the principles of fly to the football, play great team defense, we're going to be successful.
Now, I didn't come in expecting to phrase this question in this way. What tickles your fancy, Coach? You know, again, pie in the sky. Obviously, you have to scheme around what you got. You a 3-4 guy? You a 4-3 guy?
I love the 3 down. From an offensive standpoint, if you can, you know, a 3 down zone pressure team, so you're bringing 5 to 6 all the time, 3 deep, 3 under, 3 deep, 2 under, 2 deep, 4 under, any kind of variation, because my whole mentality is
mix it up.
Right. And I don't really care about tricking the offensive coordinator on their side. I care about tricking the 19, 20-year-old behind center. That's what we need to do defensively to have success. So yes, you know, there's a million different things we could do, but just in terms of being an offensive coach trying to prepare for something, the 3 front teams who can send pressure from every direction, move, stunt, slant, all those different things, that creates a lot of issues.
This time we are going to have a penalty against Plymouth. Falcons will be going on their third power play. So it looks like Ben Chipman's going to be the guilty party.
You can see him kind of pleading his case as he heads for the box, but they're going to put him away for 2 minutes. Danny, I've been monopolizing this conversation. Do you have any questions for Coach Shaw?
Oh, I think you've done pretty well in leading it.
All right. Well, I'll turn it back on you, Coach Shaw. What have I not asked you? What do you want us to get out there to the folks watching at home in Fitchburg about where you see the Fitchburg State football team going, not just in 2023, but moving forward?
The sky's the limit, first and foremost. I think this program can be something really great and something special to compete in the MASCAC and beyond. Really, to the Fitchburg community, I want to see you. I want to see you come to the games. I don't want to be, yes, obviously we're the Fitchburg State University Falcon football program, but I want to be the city of Fitchburg's football program. I want to be the pride of Fitchburg. I want you guys to come out on Saturday afternoons and be proud of wearing green and gold. I want you guys to come out and shake my hand. I want you to shake our players' hand. I want you to be involved in what we're doing, because I think one of the really special things about Fitchburg State is we have the town right here. We have the people right here. You know, you walk right down the street, you're in downtown Fitchburg, you're right by the train station. It's more than just the university, it's the community. So we're going to get it cooking here, and we need that community support to get where we want to go.
Coach Shaw, thank you so much for your time. Welcome to Fitchburg.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm excited to be here. Go Falcons.
Zach Shaw, newly appointed head coach of the Fitchburg State University football team. Thank you so much, Coach Shaw, for your time. As we focus our attention back here on the game, just about 10 minutes left to play in period number 2. Still 1-0 in favor of Fitchburg. Fitchburg currently on the power play, about 30 seconds left on that. Puck cleared out by the Panthers. Macchione will watch it go by him, and he'll grab it there. Leaves it off for Josh Miller. Miller sends it back, and it comes back to him. Miller with Michael Macchione behind the goal line. He'll skate it up himself. Now passes to Kramer. Kramer gains the red, then the blue. Looking for the cross-ice pass. Finally finds it, but he can't hit Macchione perfectly. Puck squirts out past the blue line as we are back to even strength. Panthers back with 5 on the ice as Chipman leaves the box and heads for the bench for a line change. Kramer gains the puck for Fitchburg, sends it forward for Bouthiet. He leaves it back. Poked away from him. Kramer grabs it back behind the net. Toivo Kramer looking for a pass. Skates around, not really there. He'll finally take a bad angle shot. That gets deflected all the way into the back row. Gentleman in a windbreaker tried to make a leaping catch on that puck. I don't advise that. When the puck is moving that fast at that angle, you want to get away from it, Dan.
That being said, though, I cannot tell you the last time I've seen a puck fly out of play and go that distance. And there's a penalty against Plymouth, by the way.
Chipman is right back in the box.
They put...
No, actually, I thought it was Chipman. It's Nick Sprolis. Again, our thanks to Zach Shaw, the new Fitchburg State University head football coach. Generous enough to spend the first half of the second period with us here on FATV. It's Hockey Day in the Berg from the Civic Center. All proceeds and benefits from today going to the Tebow Family Rehabilitation Trust. FATV.org/TBO14. That's Tango Bravo Oscar 1-4. Loose puck in front of the net here. 4 Falcons trying to fall on it. Finally gathered and cleared away by Macchione. He gets it back to Kramer. He will lead a breakaway opportunity for the Falcons. 4-on-2 if they hurry. Kramer dumps it in instead. Pursued by Macchione, comes back out. Oliver Cookson fighting with it on the right corner. Macchione comes out with it. He finds Gignac. Gignac loses his footing a little bit. His shot save made. Rebound bounces out. Cookson to rebound. Can't get it in. Macchione's got an opportunity for a wraparound. Still loose in front of the net. Kramer poking at it. Cookson's in there. Kramer a shot save made. Finally cleared back and out. Max Macchione will come out of net to play it for the Falcons as we're about halfway through this latest penalty. 8 minutes to go here in period number 2.
Lots of helter-skelter in front of Brendan Brawley, just trying to move every which way to try to track that puck, and the Panthers trying to get their sticks in there, dig it out, and keep that from going in the net. My goodness, though. It's got to be one of the flattest efforts that Plymouth has had this season. Only 11 shots on goal through 32 minutes of hockey. That is surprising.
Even in that first half of the second period, it was mostly Fitchburg with the opportunities. Now Wyatt Wilmshurst skates behind the goal line. Bergman takes it behind the net. He'll send it back for Hunter Fortin. Fortin over to Josh Miller. Miller looking for a pass. He'll send it back to Wilmshurst. Wilmshurst's left-handed shot, save made, and this time Brawley hangs on even with Bergman poking at it. Good save there for the senior goaltender from Morton, PA. Former Philadelphia Little Flyer. We'll take another look at that last chance for the Falcons. See, the puck is just constantly loose in front of the net here. This has got to be terror for Brawley, right, Dan? Just trying to find where the puck is.
Yeah, and you're down on the ice. You're just trying to move around, trying to stay in front of it. Because you're concerned where that's going to go. You're concerned that a player in goal is going to get their stick on it in just the right way, elevate it, and you're not in a position where you're going to be able to get your hands up and make a save. You're relying more on luck if it comes to that, and there's a penalty against Fitchburg. Bergman's going to be called for the trip.
We were even strength for all of, 28 seconds or so.
That's penalty number 6 in this period, by the way.
It's been a busy period. We were talking football, doing that thing where we ignore the game for a while, which, sorry, but it was a good conversation. Glad we had it. Reese Bergman heads for the box.
I'm looking forward to seeing that team that Zach Shaw's going to put together.
Did you see my eyes go wide when that man said air raid RPO? I like calling the air raid RPO. That sounds like fun.
Yeah, I was thinking that it's like, oh, if you're going to run air raid RPO, we're going to have fun next season. Yeah, you and me both.
We're going to have fun if it goes well.
2 minutes.
If it doesn't go well, it's not going to go well. But we digress. Plymouth State now on the power play. Chance for them to level this game. 6.5 minutes to play here in period number 2. McCollum, his shot deflected before it got to Macchione. McCollum will regather, get another chance. He sends it over to Shaley. Shaley dumps it ahead to Abbott. Abbott back behind the net. Tried to get back to him, but well defended there. Macchione can't clear it, comes back behind the Fitchburg net. McCollum can't keep it in at the blue line. Plymouth State will have to reset with 1:10 to go on the power play. Ryder McCallum gains the blue line, dumps it off. Loose puck in front of the net. Macchione just splays out, covers it up. Gets a stoppage in play, 1:01 on the power play, 5:55 in period number 2.
That was shot on goal number 13 for Plymouth. And I'd like to remind you that 2 nights ago, this same Fitchburg State team conceded 54 shots.
Defense has been just a little bit stronger today.
Against a stronger offense, too. I'm still shocked by how this game has developed. But of course, there's still plenty of time for it to change. Like right there.
On the rebound, Connor Tate ties the game just like that. Dan, what were you saying about Plymouth State having an explosive offense that can strike at any moment?
That was taking advantage of the rebound. Macchione able to make the save, but it popped out so quick off his pad, and Connor Tate was right there. He was the one who drew the penalty. You just see how quickly that puck flies out, and Tate is just right there. Perfect place, perfect time. And the sophomore from Boyd's, Maryland, has his team leading and MASCAC leading 11th goal of the season.
The initial shot came from senior Ted Austin. Macchione made the save, but Connor Tate was right there to play the rebound, and he put the biscuit in the basket. We are level at 1 with 5.5 minutes to play in the second. Kept in at the far point by Crowless. He tries to send it in, but it goes up into the netting. I think they're going to take this face-off outside the zone. It'll come in vaguely neutral ice. Is it truly neutral? I know it's outside the blue line. It's still on Fitchburg's side.
Yeah, but it is in the neutral zone.
That's true. It's just on our side of the neutral zone. That's fine. I watched enough Star Trek. I know there's neutral zone politics involved. Face-off won by Holmqvist. Sent in and deflected pretty much straight into the netting off the stick of Chipman. Macchione just kind of batted at that one, and it happened to find some twine. Not the worst twine it could have found from a Fitchburg perspective. Faceoff will come to the left side of the Fitchburg netminder.
Yeah, we saw that last week, a puck get batted away by the goaltender, and it did find the bad twine. It went off a guy too, but.
2 minutes off the draw. Skated in just a little too late. Fitchburg is offside.
I do have to imagine both Dean Fuller and Craig Russell have got to be preaching calm to their teams and trying to play a little more disciplined. As we said, we've had 6 minor penalties in this second period alone, and it was on that 6th one that Plymouth finally found their first goal of the contest. And both teams have had good chances on the man advantage.
Will Reddick pursues for Plymouth. Chipman's shot deflected wide. Reddick can't grab it behind the net. It'll be cleared by Saavedra. Pursued by 2 minutes. Back to Saavedra. He dumps it in. Raleigh wanted to play it, but then he thought better. Covers up and will draw a face-off. Come in the offensive zone for Fitchburg after they change up some personnel.
Fitchburg has as many shots in this frame as they did in all the first. Plymouth 2 more than what they had in the last one. It's 12-9 in favor of the Falcons in the second frame, but Plymouth has the lone strike from Connor Tate.
Plymouth wins the draw. They dump it out. Sent right back in for Fitchburg by Trenton Skaggs. Pursued by Brett Lockhart. Lockhart back to Tate, the goal scorer. Plymouth having a little trouble getting it out of their own zone. Finally they do on the stick of McCallum. He'll take the red and into the offensive zone as well. Now leaves it off for Tate, can't get that. He'll take it back himself. McCallum sends it back behind the net. Lost there, loose behind the Fitchburg goal. Seolin will bounce it off the boards, can't get it out. Bergman can, however. Lockhart will send it right back in. Bouncing puck, very dangerous for Macchione. He wound up deflecting it, couldn't cover up. Now a chance for Fitchburg on the other end. Shot save made. Anthony Seolin couldn't find the back of the net there. 3:59 to play here in the second period. Fitchburg and Plymouth tied at 1. Feels like the momentum has started to swing toward the Panthers, Dan.
It does feel that way. It feels like there's been a good couple of minutes since the Falcons have had a real grade A scoring opportunity.
Shot by Jack Johansson, save made, rebound, score!
Well, we were due!
Gene Bouthiette, the senior from Enfield, on the rebound, restores the Falcons' lead. 2-1 now on the goal from number 2-1.
Just all that scrambling around, and it was another loose rebound, and it was Bouthiette on the spot. Only 1 goal coming into today, but 11 assists. And now he's tripled his goal-scoring tally on the campaign with that one.
Feels like loose rebounds have been the story of the game. Both goals in this period coming on very juicy rebounds. Gene Bouthiette picks one up there, gives the Falcons a 2-1 advantage.
Fitchburg State goal scored by number 21, Gene Bouthiette. Assisted by number 16, Wyatt Wilmshurst.
Wyatt Wilmshurst credited with the assist.
And after the really large gap, they announced the secondary, which I'll have to rely on the spotty internet for that one.
Oops. That was a large gap. Now another chance. Gignac's shot is blocked. There was a moment where everybody just froze, not knowing where the puck was. Ultimately cleared out by Plymouth.
The puck coming to the Falcon bench while they're in the middle of line change. You saw players stopping right on the bench, basically not wanting to touch the puck because they don't want to be the one that's going to be the one who makes too many.
Now turnover, shot goes over the net. Sudden opportunity there for the Panthers. These big cats strike very quickly. Gignat sends it ahead for Cookson. Over to Archambault. Archambault tries to beat Chipman, but he loses his footing, and we're going to get a penalty. I think he was assisted in the loss of his footing.
Indeed, they say he had help.
They're going to send Ben Chipman to the penalty box once again, this time for tripping. Take another look at it here. Arsham Bahu, boy.
His stick got in there.
It was in the area. I think "got" is a very generous term, but okay.
I thought he made contact there.
He might have. We're further away and less experienced in hockey than the referees are.
The old saying is, if you don't want to be called for tripping, don't put your stick in a spot where you could get called for tripping.
That's a fair point. That's a good, reasonable, and fair point. Fitchburg State will certainly take it. They're on the man advantage once again. Miller sends it over to Fortin. Hunter Fortin looking for a shot, doesn't find it. Josh Miller will take one, save made by Brawley. Rebound pursued by Bergman. Comes back out to Miller. Near side boards, he'll skate toward the center. Send it back for Fortin. Fortin's shot deflected, never gets in on net. Wilmshurst, right wing corner with it. He sends it back for Bergman. Bergman tried to center, got deflected, poked away by a Panther. Wilmshurst shot, save made by Brawley, but another rebound. Cleared out by Plymouth. 40 seconds gone on the man advantage. Shots on goal now 29-16 in favor of Fitchburg State. Josh Miller will gather behind his own net and reset. Pretty much immediately turns it over. Opportunity for the Panthers here. Pump fake shot, another shot save made by Macchione. Another shot and a save by Macchione. Macchione's playing without a stick, finally picks it up himself. Shot from the point is basically whiffed on by Crawlis. Puck sent behind the Fitchburg net. Bergman will play it. A moment of panic on the power play. And another turnover by Bergman. He wants a penalty. It's not coming. Is Bergman very slow to get on the ice. Hey, who's on the man advantage, Dan, real quick here? Because it looks like Plymouth State.
Plymouth does have 6 shorthanded goals this season. So it's not like they don't have the ability to score in this situation.
Falcons finally control the puck, get a moment to breathe, but they lost basically a minute. Michael Macchione beats Austin. Chance for him. He'll take it behind the Plymouth net. Cook's in there with it. Advances it along. Bouthiette gives chase. Kept in by Kramer at the blue line. Good job by him. Leaping left-handed grab. Now shot by Bouthiette. Save made by Brawley. Back behind the net. Bouthiette goes down. Loses his stick. And it is cleared out as we are back to even strength. 30 seconds to play here in the period. Macchione sends it ahead. Bouthiette now with it at the blue line. He gives it to Kramer. Toivo Kramer gains the blue line. Pulls up, centering pass. Cookson can't handle it. Shot from the point. Cookson from behind the net. Brawley trying to cover up. Can't do it. 7 seconds left. One more chance for Fitchburg if they hurry. Gignak's got a fire. Plymouth State grabs it. And that's going to be the end of period number 2. Panthers unable to capitalize on that breakaway opportunity. Will go to the locker rooms, still with Fitchburg leading by a goal, but a very lively second period of action, Dan.
Especially in the latter half. Some good chances there.
Yeah, I'm glad we did the interview in the first half of the period, with that having been the second half of the period.
I felt like both those goals may have been commentator foreshadowing and or cursing.
A little bit, but hey, it happens. Felt for a while there like Plymouth State really was, and it picked up again right at the end of the penalty period when Fitchburg State was on the power play. One turnover in the zone, and all of a sudden Plymouth State was just dominating possession, pouring in opportunities. It really felt like the Panthers were on the man advantage there.
They've been able to show those looks, and already down a goal in that spot, they were definitely hungry to try to get back and equalize it. They had some great chances, and Anthony Ciolin had to really help out Max Macchione there, trying to fill up that net, trying to get his stick in there. And really was pretty scary for a moment for the Falcons, able to survive that, get through the rest of that man advantage. Each team has committed 5 penalties in this contest. Plymouth has the lone power play strike. They've yet to score an even strength goal in this building in this season. Strangely enough, all 6 of their goals against the Falcons here in Fitchburg have been on the power play.
So just stay out of the penalty box, and apparently you keep the Panthers out of the back of the net. That doesn't sound like it'll hold, but hey, stranger things have happened.
Indeed, the Falcons are undefeated thus far when leading after 40, 5-0-2. The Panthers, this is only the 4th time they've trailed after 40. They're 2-1.
2-1 is the score. Again, all proceeds from today's triple header at the Wallace Civic Center. Go to benefit the Tebow Family Rehabilitation Trust. You can go to fatv.org/TBO14 to donate directly. That link will take you straight to the GoFundMe page for the Tebow Family Rehabilitation Trust. It's become an annual tradition here at the Wallace Civic Center, and it's just getting underway. Dan and I will have the third period of action coming at you in just a minute. It is Hockey Day in the Berg here on FATV. Hockey Day in the Berg continues here on FATV. I'm John Gugerty, joined of course by Dan Bolak. It is 2-1 Fitchburg State over Plymouth State as we get ready for the third period of action. But before we do, we'll take a look at some of the highlights from a very exciting second period here from the Wallace Civic Center. A lot of missed opportunities. Sorry, Dan.
Yes, a lot of power plays, a lot of missed opportunities, as you mentioned, a lot of chances. Fitchburg had the early run of play really in the first half of that period. Got some chances on there. You can see Brendan Brawley trying to stand strong. You can see here was a particularly dangerous situation where you have so many players. It's a mosh pit deep in the slots.
Toward the end of the period, though, action picked up for Plymouth State. You see Max Macchione making a diving save there, and he makes the initial save here on the shot by Ted Austin. But Connor Tate jumps on the juicy rebound, puts it in the back of the net. That tied the game at 1, where it remained for a minute or so. Not too long.
It was less than 2 minutes later, after Fitchburg had their run of not much in terms of chances. Suddenly they're able to string something together, and Gene Bouthiette pots his second of the game, his third of the season. And with that, the green and gold lead after 40, 2-1. Shots on goal in that second period were 14-7 in favor of the Falcons. 26-14 are the overall shots in 40 minutes. And you see this Plymouth State team, the last time they lost a MassCAC game was February 15th, 2022, a 4-2 loss at Westfield. Since then, they have won 16 straight games against MassCAC opponents.
Unsurprising, number 1 in the conference. Fitchburg came in number 3 with their 6-3-3 record. A win over the conference leaders would do good things for their morale, safe to say. But there's still 20 minutes of hockey to play, and it really seemed like Plymouth State ratcheted up the intensity in kind of the middle third of that second period, Dan. After we said goodbye to Coach Zach Shaw, again, we want to thank him. Zach Shaw, the new head coach of Fitchburg State's football team, spent the first half of the period with us. We'll have more folks here as we can over the course of the day. But Dan, Plymouth State really controlled that middle third into the back half of the second period. Fitchburg State got a little bit of momentum back at the end. They did get that second goal by Gene Bouthiette. But it really felt like Plymouth State, after coming out very flat, we commented on how flat they looked. They came to play.
Indeed, and then can't discount the fact that late in the period when the Falcons did have a power play going, Plymouth had a couple good looks on the kill, trying to find their 7th shorthanded goal of the season. 20 minutes on the clock. This is only the 4th time this year that Plymouth State has found themselves in this position that they are trailing going into the third period. The last time they lost was back on November the 25th, a 5-3 loss to Utica. It was so long ago, and I'm not joking when I say this, Cameron Patton was playing against Plymouth and not for them.
And it is Patton who will take the face-off as we start period number 3. And here with the play-by-play is Dan Bolek.
The Falcons do win that opening draw. As you mentioned, Patton, former Utica Pioneer, transferred mid-season to the Panthers, found 9 points in his first 5 games, already has an assist today. So just another injection of offense that Plymouth has at their disposal. The Panthers in the road, black uniforms with green stripes, white numbers going right to left in the third. Falcons in the alternate gold uniforms with green numbers and trim going left to right. Josh Miller holding back in his own end. Now behind the net, waiting, looking around. Now gets the pass off the boards. They picked up by Miles Abbott. Abbott will throw it right back in. Max Macchione will settle. Lurking around is a Panther, thinking he's trying to pick the pocket. There's Will Reddick. Macchione wise to it, protects it with his stick. Connor Tate intercepts on the left side. Tries to center in front, looking for Reddick. Now back to Tate, on the left side, Ryder McCollum. Holding, waiting, trying to get around Forden, who was laying out there trying to block that shooting lane. The shot that gets off, ends up going wide. Bad angle shot off the side of the net again by Ryder McCollum. Around to the right side it goes, kept in at the point. And back behind the net and around to the left side it goes. Back and forth it goes. As we are about a minute and a half into the third period, 2-1 lead for the Falcons. McCollum at the point. Will pass it off on the left side. Well out of the reach of Reddick. Antoine Gignac will go and take. On the far side, Wyatt Wilmshurst. Off the board, it's going to stay in place, settled down, and protected by Abbott. Now the puck will go out of the zone where Brett Lockhart will pick it up. Players changing lines, big open ice hit. Things happening. The Fitchburg will have it, and now both teams will really just finish the personnel changes that they want to make.
That big hit on Will Reddick kind of stopped a Plymouth State opportunity then. Reddick was trying to tag up, get back on side. He got leveled and laid out, couldn't get up right away. Plymouth State had to just dump it in and give up possession.
Archambault with the lead pass looking for Michael Macchione. Older brother of Max comes to the right point. Skaggs with the shot, gets through the legs, and it's patted away by Brendan Brawley. 25 saves for the senior keeper from Pennsylvania. On the far side of the neutral zone, Plymouth able to take it, get a shot off. Glove save by Macchione off the stick of Jeremy Rancourt, the junior from Lewiston, Maine. Out to the near side. Colin Tracy settles, knocks it along. Around the boards to Nolan Sargent. Sargent picks there to keep possession of the puck for Archambault, and now cleared out of the zone, down the ice, hops over the stick of Ted Austin. Had a chance to obtain it and whiffed on it, so that'll kill the icing. Nick Scrolis at his own blue line, holding, passing with Lucas Holmquist. Now alongside Moretti onto the right. Panthers trying to keep control, not for much longer. Scrolis moving it along, Moretti into the zone on the left circle. Moretti just trying to take a backhand with one hand basically on his stick. Got some velocity on it. Here's Cookson on the other end. Oliver Cookson trying to pass it around Crowless, getting in the way of that. Tyler Harding took a major penalty earlier, but has been able to continue on in this contest. He'll dump it in left wing corner. And Panthers will change. 16:22 to go, third period. Falcons 2, Panthers 1. Falcons with that fourth line out there, looking for the pass for Jeremy Millette. He took that ceremonial face-off at the beginning of the game. Ethan Stuckless with a shot, and that's gloved by Macchione.
Feels like a rarity in this game, Dan. A straight-on shot, a caught save, and he actually hangs on, no rebound.
At times, the rebound control has been a little shaky for both of the keepers. And just inability to control the puck, if you will, has led to all three of the goals. Linesman fell on the ice after the face-off there.
He's tough. He's a hockey official.
As you'd expect. Now, one of the Panthers stumbles in the right wing corner as they try to feed Stuckless in front. Macchione sticking right with them. Ethan Stuckless holding onto it on the left side. Gets a shot off. That's deflected up in the air. Will stay in play to the right wing corner. Settled down the right point by McCollum. Out to the left side. Shot kick save by Macchione. Lockhart had the shot for the Panthers. On the left side, Falcons clear. Down the ice, it'll go into the Panther end. Ryder McCollum. It's Olin providing the pressure. Now Forden will try to pick his pocket. He does just that. Hunter Forden on the right side. Thinking about the wraparound, trying to find some space to pass it off. Plymouth closes that up. Now a shot from the left side. This is the mark from Miller. Skaggs will throw that on goal, and that's stopped by the crest of Brawley. 15:07 to go, third period. 2-1 to the Falcons. As that one sent down the ice off a stick in the neutral zone, back into the Falcon end. And they'll play it out on the far side, making their way. Wilmshurst dumps it in. Gets past the stick of Macchione. Loose on the right side, Skaggs backhands it back into the corner. Settled by Bouthier. He's got both goals for the Falcons. He's taken down illegally. A hold is going to be indicated against Colin Tracy. The Falcons will have their sixth power play of the game.
Dan, maybe it's just because we interviewed a football coach earlier, but that was a horse collar tackle is what that was. You might call holding, and listen, it's hockey, that's holding. Holding is a broad term. If we're playing football, this is a horse collar tackle by Colin Tracy. Just grabbed Bouthiette by the back of the neck and dragged him down to the ice. That's dangerous. You can't do that. It's against the rules.
Falcons looking to cash in on their 6th power play of the day. 0 for 5 on the man advantage thus far. Did not look particularly great on the last power either. Our 11th penalty of the contest as well. Here's Seolin. Stretch pass intercepted. Cameron Patton steal that away and now moving up ice, a one-on-one. Numbers developing. Well shot there. And I think that got blocked.
There was a moment where Cameron Patton was the only player on the ice who knew where the puck was, and he was barreling in, ready to tie this game up. Fortunately for the Falcons, Macchione found it and was able to help clear it out.
Now Wiltshire shot, save, loose in front, and not able to get the second chance there was Hunter Forden. Now back to Wiltshire's left side, Miller shot blocked. They'll get right back on it. There's a big hit late in there by Jeremy Rancourt.
A little bit of 19-on-19 violence there.
Miller down to one knee, waiting for a moment, taking a breath after that one. Rancourt, he had the winner when these two teams met back in November. As Miller trying to protect, Rancourt gets the better of that. And down the ice it'll go. Macchione well out to settle it with 40 to go on the power. 13-20 to go in the third. Fitchburg State 2, Plymouth State 1.
Panthers are playing short-handed. They were also playing short stick. Ted Austin was skating around just looking for something to do for a while.
Now go back into the Panthers' end. Taken by McCollum. He's going to clear it down the ice. And Antoine Gignac will retrieve. 20 to go on the advantage. Gignac stretching it up, finds all for Cookson at the blue line. Cookson backhands, misses the net. Had trouble with the angle there with the pressure from the one remaining defender for Plymouth. Bouthiette out to the left point. Gignac. Back to Bouthiette and the shot is blocked.
Gathered in the far corner by Cookson. He sends it along the near side boards, pursued by Gignac. Gignac sends it back into the Fitchburg end. 12 and a half to play here in period number 3. Into the offensive zone for Fitchburg. Cookson centering pass, picked up by a Panther. Applying pressure and knocked on his backside for his trouble was Jack Johansson. Now back the other end, chance for the Panthers. Nothing doing there. A little bit of pushing and shoving afterward. Cookson grabs, he sends it forward to Kramer. Kramer gets leveled. Play getting a little bit chippy as we advance toward the final stages of this one. 12 minutes to play period number 3. Rennick has got it. 3-on-2 for the Panthers if they hurry. Rennick dumps it to the side. 2 minutes grabs it there for Fitchburg. He'll send it all the way around behind the net. It'll clear before it touches a stick.
Saavedra who'll take it, moving along. Now a shot save, rebound, another chance. Brawley gets in the way of that. Thanks for covering, John.
No problem. Literally what I'm here for.
Kramer not able to keep control of the puck. 2 minutes on the right side. We'll gather it. Johansson with a shot. That got blocked. Wood is coming back to numbers again. On the left side, Miles Abbott. Tries to throw it across. Wanted Tate for the one-timer. Couldn't get a stick on it. Saavedra will dump it in. 11:10 to go in the third period. 2-1 to the mouth. Cover again.
Matt Tartaglio against the blue line. His shot save made by Macchione, and we will get a whistle. 11:04 to play here in period number 3. Action on both ends of the ice. The intensity really ratcheting up. Not surprising in the final period of a 1-goal game. We'll get a face-off to the right of the Fitchburg netminder. You good?
Hope so.
Okay.
Yep. Been battling through this illness for the last couple weeks. It still hasn't quite made its way out of me, which stinks. Here's Crowless with a shot. Either off the side of the net or Macchione got a piece. Hunter Ford tried to knock it long. On the near side, Trenton Skaggs. Skaggs on the right side. Battling with Austin. Seolin not able to get a touch on. Took it to the corner behind the net. I just punched the table because I'm so angry about my throat. As it comes back.
It's a thing that happens.
Rancourt On the near side, Krolis will dump it in, and the Panthers will change lines. It's going so well until now.
That's fine. It's not like we have 2 more hockey games to call today.
McCollum's shot rises too high on the right side. Lockhart moving along, delayed penalty against Fitchburg, and we'll get the touch up here. 10:07 to go in the third period, and power play number 6 coming for the Panthers.
Looks like it's going to be Nolan Sargent sent to the, oh, I can't think of a funny one. The room of, I don't know, recompense? Yeah, the room of recompense. There, that's almost funny. Nolan Sargent going to the penalty box for 2 minutes. Cross-checking is the call. So Plymouth State will go on the power play. 10:07 to play here. Reprimand. That's what I should have done. The room of reprimand. Can we pretend that's what I said?
Could use it next game.
Okay.
So Panthers 1 for 5 on the power play with a shot that gets blocked out in front. Left wing corner, Carson Lansley from McCollum, back for Lansley. Pass Stuckless now to the right side. Now Stuckless will take it. Try to center. McCollum holding at the left circle. To the right side. Peyton Shaley there. Shaley on the right, now back to McCollum. To the left, Lansley. Turnaround pass. A lot of things happening there. And a few good chances for Plymouth, but keeping that low side secure was Max Macchione, and he covers for a draw. 9:29 to go in the third and 1:22 on the power.
Miles Abbott, the senior from Norwell, came crashing down off that last rebound. Looked like he had Macchione right where he wanted him, on his backside, leaning backwards. But Macchione was able to cover the puck, make the save, and draw a face-off to his right.
Draw controlled by Plymouth. McCollum trying to keep it in. Lansley with good effort kept that going. Shot off, and Macchione with the save there with the pads. Now to the left point, McCollum. Shaley on the right side, holding Plymouth. Looking for a shooting lane, having trouble finding one. 55 to go on the power. And now McCollum with the shot, and he whiffed on it. And Michael Macchione able to block. Falcons trying to come back on a 2-on-1. Archibald and Johansson on the kill there. Now back in the zone, Abbott. Abbott, bad angle, goes behind the net. Shaley trying to retrieve. Down to the point. And on the right side, Plymouth again trying to settle. 25 to go on this power play. Popping shot goes wide of the mark. Now holding on, already 10 shots in this period, and another shot behind the net. Macchione falls down, having trouble getting back up, and another chance, and that's blocked. Johansson getting in the way. Cross ice pass, and now the Falcons trying to clear it, kept in by Austin. He gets another shot gobbled up by Macchione.
You almost see Macchione with a sigh of relief as soon as he hears that whistle. That was a long stretch of desperate defending for the Fitchburg goalkeeper, but also all of the penalty killers. Finally, at the end, as soon as he gets that whistle, Macchione just drops the puck and breathes a long sigh of relief.
Sargent will race out of the box. Now the penalty is up, and there's another shot. Gobbled up by Macchione.
That faceoff came with literally 1 second left on the man advantage. Plymouth unable to capitalize. We'll get another face-off, this time to Macchione's left.
Fitchburg with 5 shots in this period. Plymouth with 11. Now we're starting to see that offense. There's another shot that's stopped by Macchione in and out of the glove.
That rebound was sitting there for a long time. Fortunately for Fitchburg, no Panther was able to play it. Unfortunately for the Falcons, we're going to get an icing and another face-off deep in their own zone.
Austin wins the race with Ford in the battle of the captains. And the draw will come to the right of Macchione. 25 saves for the freshman. 29 saves for his counterpart, Brendan Brawley, the senior. Draw is eventually controlled by Plymouth with Austin moving it along for Reddick. On the left side, Gignac trying to take it away. The Falcons flip it up and out of the zone as Austin will go and retrieve. 7:30 to go in regulation time. The Falcons lead 2-1. Bouthiette's got both goals for the Falcons. Connor Tate's got the goal for Plymouth. Millette able to get it out of the zone, back to the Plymouth blue line. Lockhart along on the near side. And Reddick trying to drop it off from Moretti. Goes behind the net, taken by Skaggs. On the far side, Millette blasts it, and it's stopped by Brawley. Getting 30 saves on the night. Brendan Brawley spells his name pretty interestingly. Brendan, B-R-E-A-N-D, then A-H-N at the end. I've never seen that spelling before, I will say.
It's different. Looks very fancy. It's not Brendan, it's Brendan. No, it's Brendan. They told us it's Brendan.
Draw control by the Falcons. Sargent's shot is turned aside by Brawley. And on the far side, Plymouth, you can see a lot of the times they go in transition in this third period. It feels like they're coming up the ice with numbers, definitely playing a bit more aggressively. And Macchione watches that one dive in front of him, reaches out and gloves that down for a draw. 6:39 to go in regulation, 2-1 Fitchburg. Another draw to one side of the freshman keeper from North Kingstown, Rhode Island. Max Macchione, 26 saves in this contest. That comes across. Stuckless can't get the clean shot away. How many times have we seen a cross-ice one-timer that they just can't finish it? They can't get their stick on it. It's a high percentage chance if they're able to get good contact on it, but if not, then it just sails harmlessly away. A blast there, save, rebound, loose puck, and a penalty coming. A trip against Fitchburg, and that was to break up a great scoring chance. See that blast by Carson Lansleaf. What pace on that shot.
That was so clear a goal-scoring opportunity for Lansleaf. I'm a little bit surprised the Panthers aren't being awarded a penalty shot here. He was coming in hard and fast on a loose puck. We'll take a look at it again. You see right there, if he is not tripped up, if he doesn't get whacked in the legs by Michael Macchione, I've got to think he puts that puck in the back of the net.
Yep. You can't assume things, though. It's like, if this was soccer, you can make the argument that Macchione perhaps should be seeing a card. But in ice hockey, you can't really assume that he's going to get that finish. How many times have we seen the puck sail wide of a stick where they're in a good position?
This is true.
Panthers will go on their 7th power play. And there's a shot, that's cut down loose. Jamming away at it. Puck makes its way away from the blue paint. McCollum, a long pass Lansleaf. He'll get it back with a touch on, trying to find Abbott. On the right side, the Falcons are able to clear it down the length of the ice. They lead 2-1 with 5:40 to go. McCollum will carry it up ice on the left side. Lansleaf gets it back, makes the pass off, and now back to McCollum on the left point. Now to that corner for Lansleaf. McCollum shot, save, rebound. And a second chance by Stuckless, stopped by Macchione as well. And the third chance never comes as it goes wide. But here's another one, stop and a rebound. It's loose again. See Macchione going every which way to try to keep that out. And he is able to do just that. But Plymouth really threatening on this power play. Under 50 to go on this advantage. Under 5 to go in regulation. 2-1 to the Falcons. Lansleaf shot, finds its way through! With all the traffic, it finds a hole somewhere. It's in the back of the net, and the Panthers have tied it.
How many times, Dan, has it been juicy rebounds and loose pucks in front of the net? It looked for all the world like Plymouth was going to get one of them into the back of the net eventually, when in the end, what gets the job done is a simple shot, a little screen. Maybe it took a deflection, but I don't think so.
I think it was a strong screen there by Ethan Stuckless, and I think it snuck under the left arm of Macchione. And we saw the pace in which Carson Lansley can take shots. The junior from Nova Scotia's got his 11th goal of the season, and we're tied at 2. Douglas will get an assist along with McCollum. So 2-2, and you can see now the numbers a bit closer than they were before. 18 shots in this period for Plymouth State. The Falcons with 7. It's been different. Ciolin with a shot goes behind the net. And the one who's got the best look of all is Matt Pertaglio, who's going to be able to get to that puck first. Gets the shot off, and it's stopped by Macchione and cleared out of danger. This game's going to go down to the wire. And that one dumped in from 150 is on target. Brawley has to stop it.
This third period, Dan, has looked a lot more like the game you might have expected coming in. Plymouth State just pushing the advantage, always with the pedal to the metal, looking like the better team.
Plymouth now looks like the Plymouth that we were expecting coming in.
While we have a stoppage here and we're going to get a face-off right at center ice, we want to thank the incredible crew of FATV helping us bring this triple header of action to you at home. Our director today is named Glennie Todd Govan. On replay, Travis Falk doing all things technical, including audio, graphics, and general supervision. And our camera operators, Robin Como, Evan Schackenbach, Caitlin Mobilia, and Dylan O'Brien. Thank you all very much for your tremendous work. First truck event since Thanksgiving for FATV, and you don't even see the rust.
We've been on it today. The only rust has been in my vocal cords. Connor Tate at the neutral zone on the right side. Dumped in from distance. Macchione gloves it and will hold. 3:19 to go in regulation. 2-2 Fitchburg State and Plymouth State. Shots 34-33 in favor of the Falcons.
Now, if you've seen The Wizard of Oz, right? The Tin Man gets rusty, he wants the oil can. I don't think we can pour oil down your throat. That would go poorly, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I don't think that's how things work.
Okay. I'm out of ideas then, so get better, dude.
That's what
no, seriously, I hope you feel better.
That's what we're trying. Cookson with a touch on. That'll be taken by McCollum. He'll bring it up on the near side. Dumps it in. Macchione's got it gloved. And he doesn't want to take a chance of playing that back on when Cameron Padden is lurking. 3:04 to go in regulation time, and the shots now 34 apiece. 20 shots on goal this period for Plymouth State.
They have not let up the gas since they scored either. They want to win this thing in regulation.
After all, you get the full 3 points if you come away with a regulation win. It's been all regulation wins for the Panthers. They have the maximum 36 points. It's an 11.5 point lead over second place. I mean, they're well on their way to yet another conference championship in the regular season. But of course, as Coach Russell will tell you, it's how you do in the postseason that will really matter. Cookson bring it to the far side, tangled up with Lansley. Panthers will hold behind their net. 2:20 to go in regulation. This has definitely been one of the scarier games for the Panthers this season. And again, they're still looking for an even strength goal in the Civic Center against the Falcons. As that most recent goal, another power play strike. But Plymouth taking a breather, getting ready for this last spurt. 2 minutes to go in regulation, 2-2. Around the boards on the near side, Forden backhands it out of the zone. Krolis has it lost in his skates, moves it along for Rancourt. Saw Rancourt play the hero 2.5 months ago in the first meeting between these teams. That pass up ice, and you can see Plymouth really pressuring now. They found their game. And Fitchburg, it feels like they're just trying to hold on.
And the Falcons are playing like they're shell-shocked, Dan.
Now under 90 seconds, as we mentioned, if they are able to force overtime, it'll be the first dropped point for Plymouth all season long. Can the Panthers find a late strike and spoil the party? Spoil game number 1 of Hockey Day in the Berg. Millette moves it along, far side. Falcons will take it, skate up ice, 2-on-2, dumped into the right wing corner. Michael Macchione will get there, battling with Frolis. Gets it to the left point, shot by Sargent is gobbled up by Brawley. That feels like that's been his first save in a bit, hasn't it?
He really has not been tested over the last 5, maybe even 10 minutes of ice time. It has been all Plymouth, really, for the majority of this third period. Falcons have had chances, but they've been few and far between. They still lead overall in shots on goal, but that number keeps shrinking.
35-34 in favor of the green and gold. That's been all Plymouth this third period. Shot cut down in front. And Plymouth trying to transition up, 2-on-2. Abbott in the zone. Gets his pocket picked. It's Sargent who sneaks in and takes it away. Wilmshurst into the zone. Throws into the right wing corner. Abbott will retrieve. Flipped out of the zone. 30 seconds to go in regulation. I want to see if these teams push for that last second goal, or if maybe we see them hold back a bit, just take the point and try to play for 2. Fitchburg will dump it away. That's not going to go for icing. The Panthers have to get on their horse with 10 seconds. And the way they're holding it back here, they're going to try to stretch up for one more pass. It's intercepted by the Falcons. Ciolin blasts. It's blocked. Time's going to expire in the third period. And so for the first time all year, the Panthers have dropped a point. Overtime is going to decide this game, as each team will get a point in the standings. And we'll see who's going to get that third point.
Fitchburg barely able to hang on, Dan.
They've adjusted the shots on goal as they have after every period. The shots on goal you see on your screen are unofficial. What's going in the scorebook is official. And it feels like in this game, I guess Jim LaPointe's been seeing a few more shots for Plymouth than they've been giving credit.
That used to be a 34.
They've knocked it down to 30, but that's still 16 shots on goal for Plymouth compared to 8 for the Falcons in the third period. The lone goal for Carson Landsleeve is 11th of the year, assisted by Ryder McCollum and Ethan Stuckless. And so we're going to overtime with the score 2-2.
Ultimately, Plymouth was able to get the game-tying goal, get the puck in the back of the net, but you really have to credit the work done by Fitchburg defensively, both the skaters on the ice and the tremendous work of goaltender Max Macchione. Plymouth poured on the pressure really through that entire third period. It's a credit to the Falcons that they only allowed 1 goal, given how much of the offensive advantage the Panthers had. And again, this game, the first of 3 here on Hockey Day in the Berg, benefiting the Tebow Family Rehabilitation Trust. We will see the Milton Academy and Fitchburg Tech versus St. Bernard's coming up, but for now, it's overtime hockey.
Panthers are 0-1-1 in overtime this year. The Falcons are 1-1-3. As Reddick will carry it up for Plymouth. Pass up on the left side, shot cut down in front. We'll see how they play with the more open ice.
Falcons going to overtime for their 3rd time in their last 4 games. Of course, they got the win 2 weeks ago here on FATV over UMass Dartmouth. This past Thursday, they tied Worcester State in OT.
Reddick just skating it around. Falcons trying to get it out of the zone. Reddick getting it back, and now it comes out again. The last time Plymouth went to overtime was game number 2 on October 29th. That was a 3-2 loss to Babson at Babson. That's the school that Jake Tebow is attending now as a freshman. Their other overtime game in game number 1 of the year against the Plattsburgh Cardinals. That game ended in a 2-2 tie. Stuckless in the right wing corner. Lost the handle on it for a moment. Landsleeve, who tied it, gets a shot off. Tremendous pace off that blade. What a dangerous player Carson Landsleeve is. But Macchione able to snare that.
A few pleasantries exchanged between players after the play.
Panthers are pretty satisfied with the 3 they've got on the ice. I think the Falcons take that as well. So 3-on-3 overtime, first goal wins. playing for that extra point in the standings. And racing up Gignac, trying to take that all the way. The defenseman trying to drive some offense there. In a sense, he switched places because he was up as a forward essentially, while the two wings and Bouthiet and Bergman were playing back. Now some nice moves, and Macchione sprawling out to shut that chance down on Nick Scrolis. Falcons in transition, 2-on-1, Bergman, long, Bouthiet is stoned by Brawley. Oh, would have been poetic if he could have finished his hat trick with that. Nick Scrolis, the Latvian, will hold on to it, the senior. Bringing it up ice. And offside, Cameron Patton jumped the zone on the near side.
I mean, yes, Patton was the one who was offside, but I'm going to say that that was Scrolis who just made one nifty handle too many. He pulled that puck back across the blue line, basically, and caused his man to be offside.
Rock comes outside the zone with 2 minutes gone in the 3-on-3. Game will end in a tie, and the teams will split that third point if they can't find a winner. It's already happened to the Falcons 3 times this year. But really, tremendous effort just to even force overtime with how Plymouth has come in this year. An 18-0 season still alive for the Panthers, but it's not going to be a perfect 54 points. As Plymouth moving it around. Here's McCollum. Drops it off. And Patton will double back and take that. Didn't really like where the positioning was going. Panthers are going to tag up and try again. 6:16:26 on the ice for the green and black. Cameron Patton holding.
19, 16, and 14 for Fitchburg.
Can't find as much poetic there. Well, the common digit is the 1.
Yeah.
With the common digit of the 6 for the Panthers. And not liking that, they'll double back again. 6 will go to 9.
Nice.
As Ted Austin will move it along to Will Reddick for off pass. Not enough pace for Abbott. Wilshurst will get in the way of that. Pitchfork that back. Falcons will change up some personnel while the Panthers double back in their own end. 1:45 to go in regulation. It does feel like Plymouth's being a little more tentative here.
A little bit over the last 45, 60 seconds or so. Just kind of sitting back, trying to get the perfect opportunity.
Austin's shot's a bit too high. Now 7-8-9 on the ice for the green and black.
They heard your desire for perfect mathematical equality or whatever. It's like poetry, it rhymes.
They'll bring Ethan Stuckless out on the ice there to shuffle that up. Colin Tracy there as well. Stretched up to Seolin. Seolin's got Forden with him. Seolin will take the bad angle shot, and that'll go right into the glove of Brendan Brawley.
Plymouth State controlled possession for the majority of the last 2 minutes, but I don't remember them getting a single shot out of it.
They had one attempt that went high over the net. Shots are 2 apiece in this overtime period. The faceoff comes to the left of Brawley. And it'll be controlled by Plymouth. Tracy holds behind the net as we enter the final minute of this contest. Stuckless up the right side. Along for Tracy. Holds in the right circle. Waiting for that shooting lane to open. Gets the shot off. Might have been blocked. Don't know if that got all the way to Macchione. If it didn't, Bergman got in the way of it. Tracy just harassing Bergman. Not letting him make the play up ice. Bergman continuing on. Right wing corner. Looking to wrap it around. Loses the handle on it. Turns it back. Maybe looking for a tip from Bouthiet. Just couldn't get much velocity on it. 20 seconds to go. On the near side, here's Lance Lee. He tied it up, wanted to move there, but couldn't finish it. Josh Miller standing up strong. Now here's the pass. Scrolis, great move, he scores! With 4.8 seconds left, Nick Scrolis wins it for the Panthers. Undefeated Plymouth will remain. Untied Plymouth will remain. Niks Krolis, the senior from Riga, Latvia, with his 5th goal of the season, will win it for the green and black.
A heartbreaking finish for Fitchburg State. They played their hearts out in the 3rd period, trying to hold on to the lead. Plymouth State was able to tie it up. Plymouth State controlled the puck for the majority of the overtime. Good Falcon defense really kept them from pursuing many scoring opportunities, but then in the dying seconds, they only had 2 skaters with sticks on the ice. One of their skaters had just totally lost the handle. He wasn't even playing with a stick. But Plymouth State finds a way. Krolis finds the back of the net, as you said, Dan, in the dying seconds. Just 4.8 seconds left on the clock. Plymouth State wins 3-2, and we will take another look at the game-winning goal. You see the loose stick there. The pass finds Krolis. He puts on a tremendous move to beat a diving Anthony Ciolin. And then he puts it top left corner. There's nothing Macchione can do about it. Krolis with the game winner.
So Plymouth State will take 2 points. That's the one solace for the Falcons, as they do at least steal a point from Plymouth. It's not a full loss, if you will. It's an overtime loss. It is the Falcons' 2nd overtime loss of the season in their 6th overtime game. There are some positives to take from this. They controlled play for a lot of it. Plymouth able to persevere and come away with the victory. Go to 16-3-1, 13-0 in MASCAC play. The Falcons now down to 500, 8-3 and 6-4-3 in the MASCAC. But at least the Falcons get a point. They're up to 22.5. Came into today 4 behind Worcester and a million behind Plymouth. Plymouth gets 2 points, but not the full 3. They'll go up to 38. And you can see Nolan Sargent and Trenton Skaggs, teammates with the Twin City Thunder at center ice. Commiserating, I guess.
Disappointing way to end the game. The Falcons, as you said, Dan, do get the 1 point, but they wanted more. They weren't able to find it. Credit to the Panthers. 3-2 is the final in the first game of our triple header. Folks here on FATV, stick around for 2 more games of action here from the Wallace Civic Center. But for right now, for Dan Bullock, I'm John Gugerty saying thank you so much for watching Fitchburg State University take on Plymouth State. We will see you next time, which is in just a little while, right here on FATV.